Thank you very much, Maharishi. The first question has to do with the relationship between the peace government, now established by His Majesty Maharaja Nararam, and the existing governments of the world. Maharishi announced last week that the structure of the global peace government with its 8 ministries will be established on every level of society: global, national, provincial or state, city, family, and individual. I understand that the peace government will organize groups of yogic flyers for every city. My question is, what will be the working relationship between the 8 ministries of the peace government on, for example, a city level, with the corresponding departments or ministries of the present government?
Fulfillment will be the meeting point of the 2 ministries. Fulfillment of all the activities of every ministry and fulfillment on the no activity level, the performance of the peace government. The peace government is peace performing on itself. The non-peace government performing on its own level, and there is a target, and there is a path to fulfill the target, and there is fulfillment of the target. So these are the, we can say the existing governments shoot the arrows, the play of dynamism. And the peace government shoots the arrows of silence. So activity in silence will always be supportive to the arrows of dynamism. Because when the arrow starts, it starts from silence. When the arrow ends, it ends into silence. So the whole reality of dynamism, the whole reality of dynamism is silence at the start, silence at the goal. The activity of the peace government, the performance of the peace government is peace, which is the starting point of the dynamic government and the goal of the dynamic government. So the starting point and goal of the dynamic government takes time, but the peace government, starting from peace, ending in peace, the whole course is through peace. So these are the arrows of peace. Both governments are the same essentially, but not knowing the total field of knowledge, not knowing the reality of any of these, they seem to be 2 governments. But basically, they are one government. One government, either through activity, the source of activity meets with the goal of activity, or the source, course and goal remains awake in its own silent characteristic quality. This is the government's peace government, and this is the government which is not in the characteristic quality of peace. But essentially, Dynamism is peace, and peace is dynamism. The government of peace is the government of dynamism. The government of dynamism is the government of peace. Essentially, they are the same. Essentially, two values are the same. In the Vedic vision, the syllable A is syllable E and syllable U. So the same one A is in terms of motivating activity on and motivating activity off. U it is a science of language. U is a syllable that minimizes activity. E is a syllable that maximizes activity. U and E together, they are together in wholeness. The activity from wholeness to point and the activity from point to wholeness. They appear to be two contradictory activities, but they are the same activity, but still different in in their dimensions, from infinity to point, one direction, from point to infinity, the other direction. One direction is collapsing, the other direction is emerging. Collapsing from big to small, from infinity to point. Emerging from point to infinity, from small to big. Both are the two characteristics of one distance, from here to here, from infinity to point, from point to infinity. In reality, they are the same. That is why, in reality, unified field is one, diversified field is many. So one is many, eventually many and one. The example is a tree. All the diverse values of leaves and branches and flowers and fruits, they are all nothing other than one sap. That's all. One sap is, truthfully, one sap is many leaves and many branches and many flowers and many fruits. One is many, and many are one. That's all. So the two governments, they appear to be two governments because so far only one was government, and now the voice of the knowers come out to express, yes, this is a government dealing with diversity. Now this dealing characteristic quality of action, this dealing with, is non-dealing, because all that the dealing is on is all diverse values, they are the same, they are the same, they are the same. All variety underneath is the same, non-distinguishable, non-variety, unity. So now the time is for the vision or knowledge of diversity to be appreciated on the level of unity. It's beautiful, unity. So no one should think there is a competition. No, there is no competition. Peace government, if it is in competition with someone, it won't be peace government. It won't be peace government. This is a government which rules completely hand in hand with that intelligence which rules each thing separately, each thing. Each thing is ruled on its own level. But the ruling value here, and the ruling value here, and the ruling value here, and the ruling value here, there, everywhere, is the same ruling value. And what it is? It's a connection between something with anything. Connection with infinity and a point. The connection with infinity and a point. Connection with dynamism and silence. Connection is dynamism and silence. And in reality, it is the silence that is dynamic. When we say dynamic, we differentiate it with silence. And when we see what is dynamic, we find it is silence which is dynamic. So dynamism, or the process of maintaining dynamism, is unity. And it is the process of maintaining unity and dynamism. That's why when we say unity, all the diversity come along. Dealing with unity means dealing with all diversity. It's a beautiful picture. Dr. Hagelin explained to them, dealing with unity is dealing with diversity. That is why all those who are dealing with diversity, they are invited to begin to deal with unity also. Otherwise, as long as they are missing dealing with unity, they are what? They are damaging their own government. Then it's government. They are then the leftists. They are the left hand of the government, which is always weaker than the right hand. So now, with peace government, every government is going to be stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger. That means less performance of the governments will display more parental role, more nourishing effect to the population. Less and less of diversification will naturally be overcome, will naturally overcome more and more diversification, which scatters the unity into diversity. It's a beauty. That is why it needed a scientist. It needed a scientist, a super scientist, a supreme scientist of the scientific age to come out with something which is absolutely authenticated knowledge. Peace government comes with that performance, which is performance of peace. And where is the code of conduct of performance of peace? In the Vedic expression. Ved is the code of performance of peace, because Ved is the reality of the transcendental field. Richo Akshare Parme Vyoman. Veda is in the transcendental field. Veda is the sound of the transcendent. The transcendent is no sound. Veda is the field of no sound. It's a sound on its own level, not relative level, not open to space and time. That is why Veda is an oral tradition from father to son, to father to son, from father to son, from father to son. That's why when we want to recite the Veda, we call the child of that tradition, from Vedic tradition, to do it. It's a beautiful, pure field of knowledge which is going to now influence the whole field of diverse world and the whole field of diversity, and going to be a unified state of administration, which is self-administration. Peace government. Who governs? Is the peace that governs. Because peace is the cumulative character, unifying character. All problems are in the diversifying nature of activity. But this activity of peace government is unifying peace government. Unifying peace government. It's based on the unifying value, on the internal value, not on the diversifying reality of action, but in the unified angle of action. The example is, you pull the string of the kite. The kite is throughout the sky. You pull the kite, you pull the string, and the kite goes higher and higher. You pull the arrow, and the arrow is potentially more and more powerful to go forward. This is the peace government, and as nowadays are going ahead, we are going to establish all the different values of the government everywhere, and everyone will have this string of one's own fortune in one's own finger.